Thank you. I'd like to thank my two colleagues. Thank you, Senators, for speaking about a complex issue, a part of Canadians' history that's complex, but that's palpable for most Indigenous peoples. And I'm very proud to be half Innu and half Quebecer. My son is Giksan, and they are right next to the Haida people. I was accompanied by a spiritual grandmother during the National Inquiry, who's from that great nation, who was also a matriarch, a warrior, a gentle warrior, who comes from a long line of matriarchs, but also as a long line of hereditary chiefs, going back 1,000 years. So you can understand that the position that I'm going to take with gentle strength, that reconciliation also includes truth, that only we Indigenous peoples will have, or through a oral tradition, share it with you and have been for decades and perhaps centuries, and to collectively remember how important it is to sign these agreements. The right to self-determination is the first thing I got when I entered this chamber. A medallion on caribou skin that said education, justice, and the right to self-determination. It's extremely important. However, at the same time, let's recall that in the same space, how harmful colonialism is, especially for an Indigenous woman. How my mother, in marrying a Quebecer, was expelled from her territory and language and so forth. All these things that we've learned over time. Last February, the month of love, but also for those who have lost a loved one, it's a moment in which we think. The month of February is also for those who have lost a sister, a brother, a mother, and so forth. I just happened to be on these matriarchs' territory in northern British Columbia. They told me that this bill was going to harm them because they hadn't been listened to. And I told them, in my own words, that at the same time, 50 years later, sometimes you have to move forward even if it's not perfect, even if it's not what you hoped for as a people or as a society or as a country. So they tried to have their voices heard in the framework of our structures here in the Senate, but their voices did not resonate for all kinds of reasons. So I'm standing up for them today. 50 years of colonialism, 50 years of debate for that beautiful Haida Nation and people to finally end up with something. But let's recall that these women have 12,000 years of rights, of rules, of protocols, of pride, on all kinds of other things for their people. Often, I'm told by all the governments that I meet with here that yes, but you have to resolve those issues amongst yourselves. Well, we didn't impose a colonial rule onto ourselves and amongst ourselves. So I'm going to stand and abstain. But you, within your own souls, if you want to support this bill, that's up to you, and you have every right to do so. I'm not asking you to join me, but understand that the next nations coming before our committees, for us to be able to adopt bills with them and grant them their full independence. Let's recall that there are always silent voices that we should be hearing, that it's our responsibility to do so.
That we know, we think we do good, and I'm one of them, of course, that I think I did my due diligence. Within that own nation, same nation, there's probably group voices that we need to bring here during committee. So I hope you understand my abstention, that there's voices that weren't heard. And the next bill or the next, even my nation, I can wait that they come here. And I'll ask them the same question. What about the Indigenous women? Where are they? Are they involved? Did they dream in that vision that you have in presenting to us as senator that they co-built with you this piece of legislation or this vision? So we have that due diligence. We have that responsibility. I say thank you to all people here that do open their mind and heart about this, but also let's remind that there's so many of us that not able to come and shake or speak or share the truth. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you very much.